We all experience relationship highs and lows. However, when the lows start to outnumber the highs, it may be time to reconsider the relationship. Here are some quotes about reaching the breaking point and saying a final goodbye to a toxic relationship that might resonate with you if you're at this pivotal moment. What's broken is broken, and I'd rather remember it as it was than mend it and see the broken places as long as I live. This poignant quote from Margaret Mitchell points to the painful reality that sometimes relationships cannot be fixed once they're broken. We simply need to accept the harsh truth that some fractures are beyond repair, and instead of clinging to the shattered pieces in hopes of mending them, it's healthier to let go. Mitchell's words strike a chord, particularly when the time comes to face the fact that we are trapped in a toxic relationship that is causing us more anguish than joy. Her message is that it's perfectly acceptable, and often necessary, to cherish the beautiful moments shared in the past, while not allowing these memories to become chains that bind us to the pain and prevent us from moving forward. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. This insightful quote from Jay Morgan underscores the importance of making a conscious decision to change our circumstances, especially when we find ourselves in toxic relationships. The message is that the journey to a better place begins with the recognition and acceptance that our current situation is no longer beneficial or healthy for us. In the context of a toxic relationship, this quote highlights the need for courage and determination. The decision to end such a relationship can be daunting, often clouded by fear of the unknown and the comfort of familiarity, no matter how harmful it may be. However, it's essential to understand that the fear of change should never be a deterrent to personal growth and happiness. The first step when leaving a damaging relationship isn't necessarily the physical act of parting ways but the mental and emotional resolution to do so. This initial decision marks the turning point, the moment we stop merely considering the idea of leaving and firmly decide that we deserve better. Change may indeed be scary, as it thrusts us into unfamiliar territory. However, it is often through these unsettling transitions that we find our strength and resilience. By deciding not to remain in a harmful situation, we open the door to potential growth, healing, and healthier relationships. You don't have to feel guilty about removing toxic people from your life. Daniel Kepke's quote resonates with profound wisdom, especially when you're grappling with the decision to leave a toxic relationship. She underscores the necessity of prioritizing your emotional well-being and mental health over maintaining harmful connections, regardless of how long-standing or deep-rooted they may be. Guilt can often be a significant barrier to ending a relationship. You may feel responsible for the other person's feelings or worry about how they'll cope without you. This guilt often stems from a misplaced sense of obligation, a feeling that we must endure the toxicity because we owe it to the other person. But Kepke challenges this notion, asserting that we owe it to ourselves first and foremost to ensure our well-being. We are not obliged to stay in situations that diminish our happiness, peace, and growth. It's better to be healthy alone than sick with someone else. This quote by Dr. Phil McGraw underscores the fact that being in a toxic relationship can take a substantial toll on your mental, emotional, and even physical health. The notion of being sick in the context of a toxic relationship encapsulates the emotional and psychological distress that often accompany toxic relationships. These can result in constant anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, or even physical symptoms brought on by stress. Dr. Phil's words challenge the societal stigma attached to being alone, asserting that it's preferable to be single and emotionally healthy than entangled in a relationship that leaves you feeling drained, unhappy, or sick. It's a call to prioritize your own well-being, to value your peace and happiness above the false security of a harmful relationship. Sometimes, you have to give up on people. Not because you don't care but because they don't. Relationships are a two-way street. They require mutual effort, understanding, and care to sustain. If you find yourself in a situation where you're the only one investing in the relationship while the other person remains indifferent or neglectful, it is time that you seriously consider walking away. This quote highlights the importance of self-love and self-respect. You deserve to be in a relationship where your feelings are valued, your efforts are appreciated, and your love is reciprocated. It's about realizing your worth and refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. Don't let negative and toxic people rent space in your head. raise the rent and kick them out. Zig Ziglar's quote is a rallying cry for self-preservation and self-love. It reminds us that our mental health is invaluable and that we have the right and responsibility to protect it. The idea of toxic people renting space in your head refers to the influence they have over your thoughts, emotions, and overall mental well-being. When you allow someone's negativity to affect you, you're essentially giving them power over your inner peace. When we raise the rent, we are increasing the value we place on our mental health and peace of mind. By doing this, we make it harder for toxic influences to affect us. In other words, we should set high standards for what we allow to impact our mental state. The final part of the quote, "kick them out," is a direct call to action, reminding us that we shouldn't hesitate to remove toxic individuals from our lives when they disrupt our peace. Don't allow someone not worth it to have the power to occupy your thoughts. If they don't find you worth the effort or the time, why should you waste yours? Donna Lynn Hope reminds us of the importance of self-respect and self-love in relationships. She emphasizes the value of our time and mental energy, urging us not to squander these precious resources on individuals who do not appreciate or reciprocate our efforts. The quote highlights the concept of reciprocity in relationships. If the other person isn't investing their time or effort into the relationship, it's a clear sign that they don't value it as much as you do. In such cases, it's important to ask ourselves why we are wasting our precious time and emotional energy on someone who does not see or appreciate our worth. These quotes about reaching the breaking point and saying a final goodbye to a toxic relationship are here to remind you that your mental peace is precious. Knowing when to say a final goodbye to a toxic relationship is crucial for your emotional well-being. It's never easy, but as these quotes will remind you, you are not alone. For more information about toxic relationships, visit www.carlacorelli.com.